Josh, now for those who have had mood swings in their life and who've always been just neurotic emotionally, up 1 minute, down the next, bipolar, basically, diagnosed or not diagnosed. There's a bunch of, these are just words, these medical diagnoses. They point to something, they point to imbalance. So being emotionally imbalanced just makes your whole life just miserable, unmanageable. You can't be trusted. Like, I used to be scared to go out. I remember I was a teenager. My mood swings were so bad. I was scared because I knew that I might feel good now, but then I go out with my friends somewhere and then some thought I can't get out of my head, some negative thought, and all of a sudden it will wreck me emotionally. And then I'll be like a drag to be around. It'd be like doing mushrooms with somebody and they have a bad trip. I'd have a bad trip and I didn't even do anything. I was just so discombobbled on a chemistry level, chemistry imbalance. That's a popular word they used to say. Well, everybody has one. Everybody has an imbalance. If we don't come in to know who we really are, we're going to be imbalanced on some level. But some are more imbalanced than others. And when you don't, it's like I didn't have any willpower, and I didn't like that. I was like, why do I feel so, I just don't have any energy, I don't have any power to do anything. And then I'd watch my friends or people, they're like, hey, let's go out. And they looked like they were vibrant, they had energy. And I'd resent that, and I'd get mad at myself, like, why? Why don't I have any energy? And why do I got a haircut once, and they messed my hair up. God, I don't know, I was like 17 or something. They cut it too damn short. And we were out. We were out at night. I wanted to get it cut because it was the weekend, and we were going to go out macking. So I'm going to get my hair right, get my hair did. And they cut it too short, and it just wrecked my whole night, wrecked my whole weekend. That's all I could think about. I'm like, she cut my hair too short, and it just sucked for my friends, and it sucked for me. Like, I couldn't control this. I was aware. I was like. Something in my, deeper reflection self was like, do you really, can't you just get over this? No, I can't. I couldn't, and I would get mad easy at people. They'd do something wrong or do something I didn't like. I would just get mad. And I didn't like that. I didn't like not having any control over myself. I didn't have any self-control, why is that glare there? I could get all out of sorts over nothing. And I didn't know how to beat that. And I didn't know that was related to the fact that I was doing PMO. It never, how are you going to learn this stuff? Like, who's going to teach you this stuff? Nobody, this information isn't widespread. It's not accessible. That's what sucks. You should learn this in school. This should be the most important, pertinent knowledge. We're just not taught. You got to go find it somewhere. You got to hit bottom in your life and go through suffering, and then then that motivation will make you start looking for things that can help you. But this stuff, it will be more accessible in a higher age. But this point in age, no. It's all about how to make money and how to conform and how to play the game of society, and this is what we get indoctrinated into. We don't get indoctrinated into the higher principles in life and how to really be happy and how to be centered. No, they say if you're uncentered, just take this pill. That's all. Go to the doctor. They'll give you some antidepressant pill, and never look at your lifestyle or bad habits or nothing. They never look at root cause. No, they don't. They're not going to do that. Just take this pill and continue your debaucherous life. And then you know what happens? All this stuff gets suppressed because these pills, they'll give you a sense of well-being, but they suppress everything in the meantime. So all the living this lifestyle that creates, having all these bad habits, there's consequences to that. Like, that's how we grow and learn. But if you take a pill to just shut all that off, So then you continue living debaucherous and unconscious, and you don't feel the consequences. What's going to happen? All that emotional turmoil that normally would be coming up, pointing, telling you like, stop doing this, that's gonna be building. And as soon as you stop taking the pill, or as soon as the pill stops working, that stuff's gonna come out like a floodgate, and then people go crazy. You know, maybe go to a school and shoot people, just do something insane, because all that stuff has to come out at some point. So the point that I'm trying to make is, when we stop doing PMO, when we stop this dopamine addiction, this is what this is. It's a dopamine addiction. That's what causes the mood swings. That's what causes all this imbalanced chemistry in our brain, because we're constantly doing drugs, but nobody's going to tell you that hardly. They're not, because it's the drugs inside our head. It's like a morphine drip, like somebody's in a hospital bed and they just push the button and they get the drip. That's what we do with this PMO, or sexual fantasies, or edging, and everything. We keep getting that drip, and so when you cut the drip, it's like you're gonna have some withdrawals. You can feel really tired, or you can feel really restless, or have insomnia, and that stuff can last a few years. It can. I made a video, severe flatline. Pause, post-acute withdrawal syndrome. That's real, especially if you've been doing this a long time, and if you've been doing it like all day and all night. If you're real, hardcore PMO addict or edging addict, then you might need to spend a little time getting your life back, and letting all this stuff rebalance itself. So when we stop doing drugs like dopamine, and smoking weed and alcohol, and some people can handle that. It depends. But if you know who you are, if you know inside, if that stuff messes you up, then you got to stop, because it's messing you up. So one has to discern. I can't just throw a blanket over all 8 billion people and say weed's not good or alcohol's not good. It depends. It depends on so many factors. And is your nervous system strong enough, and can you handle it? And are you doing it to escape? Or are you just doing it I'm not a food addict, for example. I could go enjoy, I don't know, because I don't really like food so much. I'd like to be a breatharian, but it's too much work. I tried it. I don't want to go through the transition period. That could last a while, and for what, So anyway, I could go enjoy a pizza or taco. I like Mexican food. I could go enjoy that, or I could enjoy, let's talk about something more addicting though, like ice cream or a cake, or I don't know, whatever people get addicted to. I could do that in whatever, once a year, or it just doesn't matter, or never again. So people, if you can do that, have a glass of wine or smoke some weed once in a while, and it doesn't, there's no negative effect, okay, so be it. Or even masturbation. There's some people, they masturbate once in a while and they feel some release, okay. But this channel is more, I think, for the addict mentality. And so when we're doing drugs and pumping our system with constantly drugs, and especially dopamine, that's going to imbalance everything emotionally, mentally, physically. Like, we're going to have consequences on all levels. So when we stop that, there's some period we have to go through, this rebalancing period, and then we come into more of a sense of balance. Like the body, it just naturally comes to some semblance of balance, some homeostasis, because we're not constantly pumping our system in an unnatural way with excessive chemistry. When we stop that, the body's intelligent. It brings things back into a natural harmony and synchronicity. It starts to flow like things are supposed to, like when we're a baby, or when we're really young and we don't have any bad habits yet. Even then we can be messed up though, if we inherited our parents' karma and genes and all that, but let's not, okay? Let's keep things simple. So when we come back into a natural balance, it feels nice. You're like, whoa, this is what it feels like to be emotionally balanced. You don't get all upset and want to fight because somebody took your parking spot, or somebody, disrespected you. Yeah, disrespect me, man. It's on. It's on. This is that mentality when you're not grounded. But when you're more emotionally balanced, all of a sudden these you can say higher frequency emotions will surface. You'll start to see things different. You won't get offended when somebody tries to offend you, because you'll see, you know their state because you've been in their state. So you'll know, oh, they're in a miserable state. You'll see your previous self in them, and then you'll have compassion for your previous self because you're in a higher state now. If you're not in a higher state, if you're in that world with them, you're going to react because you guys are on the same frequency. But when your frequency raises, then you have access to these higher, more spiritual perceptions of things, and with that comes higher level emotions and feelings, like compassion. You'll just have compassion for those. Something inside will be like, okay, he's having a hard time. He's sick. He's spiritually sick right now. You don't treat a sick person like that. Somebody who's sick that goes to the hospital, the nurses and doctors don't start beating them. Like, you stupid, why are you sick? So it's kind of like that. You have a shift in perception. It's like you have a shift, paradigm shift, something like that happens, and then you're grateful. Then you can help people because you've been on both sides now. Now you're at a more higher vantage point, and you can see those levels. When you're on that level, you can't see it. You got to be on a higher level to see that level, and then God can use you. Universe will use you to do some service, some good work, and then that just lifts your frequency even more. So then you're on this upward spiral of getting higher level, as opposed to this downward spiral of going deeper into debauchery. But see, that has its place. It's okay. It's like we got to taste that a little bit so that we can enjoy the higher level. That's why you can't miss. Everything's good. Have a good day.